Paul Brunton answers life's perennial questions. What is a sane religion? Quest Series 2, Video Number 9. Presented by the Paul Brunton Philosophic Foundation. It is not the conversion from one religion into another that philosophy seeks to effect, but the conversion to an inner understanding of all religions. The essence of religion does not consist in dogma and ritual, but in faith in a higher power, worship of that higher power, and more purification to come closer to it. The time is approaching when orthodox religions must yield to the demand of the modern mind for doctrines that are intellectually satisfying and an inspiration which is actually livable. If we cannot accept any orthodox religion, we have to work out some sort of relation between ourselves and God. And I would like to put forward a few thoughts and suggestions as to what seems to me a sane religion. The message for this age must satisfy its primary needs, hence must contain three elements. First, the doctrine that there is a divine soul in us, which I call the Overself. Second, the gospel that it is possible through prayer and meditations and study to commune with this soul. Third, the fact of the law of recompense, karma, and hence the necessity of good thoughts and righteous deeds. Religion must be a personal thing, a relationship between yourself as an individual and God, the infinite spirit. No church, no temple is necessary. You can find it inside your own heart and in the secrecy of your most intimate feelings. What better attitude can you adopt than true worship, which is, first of all, to be humble and to feel as a little child in the presence of that great being who is the supporter of the universe. By quieting the body and the thoughts, you prepare the conditions in which the infinite spirit will speak to you and manifest itself to you. It cannot come to you if you are too busy thinking of your personal problems. The silencing of thinking is the stilling of the personal. When God sees that you are making sufficient effort, you will gradually begin to feel the divine presence. You will sense an atmosphere of divine stillness, and the few thoughts which remain will probably be exalted ones. A student comments on Paul Brunton.
While meditating with PB, I had an experience of deep, profound feeling of peace, quiet, and contentment. The most intense instance came just before sunset and lasted about 2 hours. When I told PB, he said, "You became one with nature. Now you know the Spirit." That was a glimpse of the Overself.
The infinite spirit is everywhere. Why are so few people aware of it? They have formed the habit of thinking of themselves as bodies and intellects. They have lost the habit of remembering that they are really spirit. If spirit is to help us, it must find an outlet. We do need guidance. But where such a guide is not personally forthcoming, the best substitute is a book written by him or her. You have within yourself a ray of God, which is your own soul. If you pray to and beseech it constantly for guidance, it will surely lead you to all that you really need to know. When the real religion has been found, how will this work out in your own inner relation towards life? First of all, you can have only one attitude towards your fellow beings. The best way to help others is through goodwill. You cannot reserve it for the good and hide it from the bad. You must learn that we are all one in origin, and you should express this on the material plane through goodwill and an inner attitude of service. The inner attitude will be the same for all, and that is the dedication to the higher powers to serve others. The second manifestation of real religion is tolerance. Tolerance means understanding the plan behind the universe, and that plan involves the evolution of all creatures. Just as matter has evolved out of primal light, so human beings themselves must grow and evolve amidst stumbling and falling. We are all standing on different rungs of a ladder, and if some are on the bottom rung today, they will later be at the top, so we must be patient. The third essential is hope. Hope means that you know, or at least have a tremendous faith, that behind the worst conditions and circumstances, there is still a divine plan working, because God is everywhere. The divine has not deserted us, and whatever happens is for the ultimate evolution of humanity. I will never tire of telling others that the Overself is as loving as any parent, and that it does care for our real welfare. But we must return that love, must give our unconditional devotion, if we are to have a correct relationship with it. If you realize what the essentials of religion are, you will find all that you need to know. If you must play your part in society or go through the rituals of Orthodox religion, you may do that. But the real religion is beyond these things. It will bind you to God, and that is the true essence of worship. It is not only real, but sane, because it demands nothing from you which intelligence cannot accept. Therefore, it is sane, rational, practical religion. Paul Brunton, 1898 to 1981, a best-selling British author of a dozen books, spent much of his early life researching the original sacred teachings of Western and Eastern spiritual traditions. He traveled the world to discover and communicate with Christian, Kabbalistic, Vedantic, Buddhist, Taoist, indigenous, and Sufi masters. Blending the richness of his own spiritual experience and inquiry with these ancient and contemporary teachings, he developed a philosophy and path of practice that suits life in the 21st century, one that expresses the greatest wisdom and love available to humankind. Regardless of how it is named, we each have a divine soul, an overself or higher self, that is with us here and now, waiting to be realized. Paul Brunton's writings are a source of deep spiritual guidance for all those interested in living a divinely inspired life. Anthony Damiani, 1922 to 1984, was a prominent teacher of Paul Brunton's ideas and founder of the Wisdom's Goldenrod Center for Philosophic Studies. Inspired to penetrate into and understand the depths of traditional wisdom, he taught classes on the major philosophies as well as the teachings of Paul Brunton. His dedicated students compiled the 16 volumes of Paul Brunton's posthumous writings, titled The Notebooks of Paul Brunton, available from www.larsonpublications.com. Quotes were taken from Paul Brunton's The Inner Reality, aka Discover Yourself, Chapter 2, and the notebooks of Paul Brunton, Volumes 1, Perspectives, and 12, The Religious Urge, Reverential Life. When completed, the Paul Brunton Quest Series 1 and 2 will contain the following topics. Please subscribe to the Paul Brunton Philosophic Foundation channel.